one day I just found out him having an affair with someone from her office. And that was again a heartbreaking moment for me.
Welcome to the Love Atlas. Today I have Priya Paul, and my podcast is all about experts, leaders, and everyday people who share their own profound experiences in life and all about love life and personal growth. I'm super excited to have Priya on, and Priya, I randomly came across her on Instagram, and then I decided to ask her to be on my podcast, especially because I came across certain videos of hers and they were very empowering. And she's been through a lot in her life. So we'll dive right in and then talk to her about all these interesting topics about life. And yes, Priya, so introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So my name is Priya. I'm from India, and I'm an IT professional and also a mental health coach. And in 2022, I represented India and I won Miss World International. And from that time onwards, I am advocating mental health and talking a lot about this.
Amazing. So, Priya, let's talk a little bit about, and again, mental health is so important. What has your journey through this whole process of love has taught you about self-worth?
Sure. So it started in 2016 when it was the first time where my ex-husband left me all by myself. And I started self-reflecting. A little bit background of the story was, I was married to a person who was from a different community, and well, it was a love marriage, but uh, as soon as we got married, it was a typical Indian way of staying in a joint family where my mother-in-law would not allow me to cook the way I want. And since we are from a different community, the kind of food that I had to prepare, she wouldn't allow. So she used to feel that I will convert her son to a Bengali,
Okay.
and it used to start from basically making tea. Like usually, people from South India they prefer coffee, and North India they prefer chai.
Right.
So when I used to prepare chai, she used to think that I'll make him habituated of having tea always. So these it started from these small things to the bigger thing, and that time I was younger and I was trying to be loyal and explain everything that used to happen with me. And he used to deny, he used to ask me to adjust, and slowly our relationship became very toxic.
Yeah.
And one day I just found out him having an affair with someone from her office. And that was again a heartbreaking moment for me, especially when uh, we were together for 4 years before marriage, and we loved each other, and suddenly it was very different for me.
Yeah.
Um, I tried to recover from that. Um, and the thing is that somewhere down the line I felt I am the reason why he has an affair. It was kind of a gaslighting situation where he used to say that you have anger issue, and the other person whom I love, she listens to me, she doesn't fight with me.
Mm,
And and I literally believed that I had anger issue. And I used to, I went to a psychiatrist, and she gave a lot of medicines, and there are other effects of
right.
it. Like when you take medicines, you feel dizzy, you want to
Yeah.
sleep, and it's like again your mood is not good. Yeah, you just react to anything.
Mm-hmm.
And used to say, prove me that, see, you will never change. Your anger issue never changes. This is how you are. And but then I don't know how one day he came to me and he said, okay, let's make it up for it, and we will see that if things can be repaired.
Right.
And I think that was the first mistake I would say I did. and I forgave, and I decided that okay, let's start working on it, and we decided to move out of the joint family.
Mm-hmm.
That was again my decision. I told him that maybe us living together will improve.
Yeah, yeah.
And as soon as we moved out, within 3 months, he didn't wanted to work. He left his job,
Okay.
and I had to again carry for all the finances. And at that time, again, I used to feel that I am the person who has made him leave his parents and move out. So
Right, right,
whatever was going around, the brunt was on me.
right, right,
Right. And when he used to say he wanted to leave the job, I used to feel that no, as a good wife, I should support. And
mm-hmm.
I supported. And but again, slowly I realized that okay, so he's not working at all, and I'm taking care of the entire finances. And his mood used to be not good, like all the tantrums he used to throw because I am the reason why we are out.
Right.
And one day he just left, and he said that I cannot live with you. And from that time onwards, I think that was a turning point for me, because I didn't get any answer that what is my mistake? What did I do?
Right.
Uh, and he always used to say that he said that you are the worst soul of the world. And when I asked why, he doesn't have any answer. He used to say that, don't you know why? Really? Okay, you don't have to know. So this used to run in loop in my mind that I really don't know my mistake. And when you don't have a reason for it, you tend to make yourself wrong for everything,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So
And
that was like a
why do
yeah.
you think you didn't leave as soon as you found out that he cheated on you?
There are two things. Again, one is like that time I could not think of having a single like a divorce woman,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Especially coming from a strict Indian background, conservative background.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Second thing is that since it was a love marriage, it was my responsibility to make sure to
Mm.
prove that my choice is right.
Is it
Because at
you didn't want to disappoint your family with the choice that you
yes,
made? Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So I know my parents would not they would support if there is any issue.
Right,
But for me it was like, why to disappoint them? Like I am the one who made this choice, so I have to
yeah.
take this responsibility.
Right, right.
So these are the two things. And I think to a certain extent there is non-acceptance that if somebody is cheating on you, maybe he will never change,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I dealt that mistake as like a normal mistake where somebody do something and they can repair that.
Right,
But
right. Like,
this is a different
did
level.
you believe in your heart that he wouldn't do it again?
Yeah, he wouldn't do it again. And maybe he did because it was my mistake that I was not giving what he required. And if I change, he will come back,
Got it. And then how
right?
did you rebuild your confidence after that? Because it's a tragedy to go through something like this, and it's heartbreaking, as you mentioned. So how did you rebuild your self-esteem and confidence?
Sure. It took, I would say, 4 5 years for me
Mhm. Of
to completely build my confidence. And one thing what I realized that we human, we don't tend to change until unless we feel that it is the end of the world.
Absolutely, I
Like
agree with that. Yeah.
so when he left, I know right now that was really not the end of the world. It was heartbreaking, but it
Yes.
was not end of the world. I was still trying to get him back. I was still trying to change me to become that best soul of the world,
Right.
right? And in India, what happens is, there are those astrologers, numerologists, those puja we do to get people. So that time, like, I never used to do that, but there was a emotional turmoil where whoever used to say whatever, I just used to do it.
Mm.
And people started taking money from me. Like, everything was like haywire
Right.
altogether.
Right. People pleasing tendencies.
Right, right. My rock bottom was the day I lost my job, because definitely I was not performing well,
Right.
right? And that's the time it was a rock bottom for me, because I didn't even had money to get him back
Mhm.
or go for a counseling session for my mental health.
Right.
So that is the time I was like, okay, I can't get him back. I don't have money for survival, because I was paying the rents. We were like, when we moved out, I was paying the rents. All the furnitures, everything that we set up was on my credit card. So that's the time it was like, I'm just closer to death.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really challenging because especially living in India, being a woman and working, like nowadays everyone works, but at the same time you still want your husband to be supportive and you really want,
Right,
and if he's not working, then that's a very challenging situation to be in, especially as a woman.
right, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the time and see, the thing is that I was so emotionally uh dead. I didn't had that energy to even sit through an interview.
Hmm.
Okay, like, if I get a job, I can definitely, start again changing. But I was not able to
Yeah.
talk to people. I just lost everything. I used to be like a dead vegetable
Yeah.
lying down on my bed, and that's it.
I think it's also like in your heart and intuitively you knew that he was not the right person to be with. And you were in this situation, but you were stuck.
Yes, I was in denial. I was like, no, I
Yeah,
think still things can be changed,
of
you
course.
know?
I mean, he's
Yeah.
not your boyfriend, he's your husband. So he was your husband.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
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 yeah.
exactly. And then, so I was watching Vampire Diaries that time.
Hmm.
And in Vampire Diaries, there's a character, Bonnie. And she's a witch who, make spells and, fix things.
Yeah.
And I just felt that I think magic is something that can change my life.
Mm,
And because nothing else is working, nothing else worked for me.
right.
And so if somebody can, do some magic on me, or I can do some magic, maybe things can change.
Mm,
And I started browsing through, and then I came up with energy healing, Reiki healing.
hmm.
And the best part, so for me, mm, I chose that workshop because it said that lunch and snack included as a class money, because I really didn't had money. I used to stay like one meal per day for a
Wow.
couple of
Yeah.
months,
Yeah. So it kind of
right? And
sold, like it sold, like you were like, okay. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. For me, it's like, I will learn if magic exists. I will learn and see what is the concept.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I'm paying for it, my meal will be taken care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I went for the class, and I learned, and that was like a eye opener for me.
Mm,
Like, I learned how the universal energy can work against you if you are not in sync with your own universe.
mm-hmm.
And how giving gratitude, how giving gratitude and law of attraction can change your life.
Yeah.
And the realization that you are the one who own your life, who can change your life, and
Yeah.
no
No
one else
one, no
can
one
do it.
else. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
true.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the things that I learned. There were some processes that I had to practice, like after the classes. And I religiously practiced like post that.
Mhm.
And the first magic in my life happened was within 14 days. It was my first interview and I cracked and I got my job.
Wow. And then
And if
how did you like this workshop that you mentioned? Were you attending this on a daily basis or were you attending this on a weekly basis? And what were the practices like?
Right. So the workshop was for 1 day. It was just 1 day, Reiki level one.
Okay.
The practices are like how can you channelize a universal energy in your body to balance your physical body, emotional body, and attract, like make work with the universal energy to change your life. It's
Mm,
like universe has a different plan, but
mm-hmm,
we tend to plan something else using our
mm-hmm.
logical mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it can be like, that okay, this is something which is trending, we will go with this. But what if that is not your skill set? Your skill set is
Mm-hmm.
something else. So how can you align your life with the universe who is giving you signs that this is what you are good at, go for it, even if it looks dicey, just go for it and you will get it.
Right.
So how can you work with it? So these are the things that I learned in that workshop.
Got it. Wow. That's amazing. And
Yeah.
then what about self-love, right? Like as you mentioned, during this whole Reiki process and you learning about yourself, you
Right.
were also probably falling in love with yourself during the process. So
Right.
how did that look
Right.
to you?
Sure. Well, so I never learned like a specific workshop as of self-love. This is like a realization of after years of these practices.
Mm-hmm.
So Reiki is one of the modality that I learned. And then there is something called access consciousness. How can you access your consciousness and choices to make decisions or
Mm,
choices about your life? I
right.
never knew that I had a choice. Like from my childhood, like my parents used to decide what college to go for, what
Yeah.
to eat, what to drink. I
Right.
never knew, oh, that I have a choice,
Yeah.
right? And when I went through access consciousness, that was like an eye opener that, oh my God, I can choose too. Like no
Mm,
one else have to choose for me.
right.
So I practiced everything. Like my new life used to be go to office, go to workshop, come back, practice everything that
Right.
I know, right? And eat food. And that's it. That's my daily practice. And see, the thing is that when I started this, my motive was to become a best soul of the world to get my husband.
Mm,
But then when I started practicing everything and when I started seeing that every small things around my world started working according to my choices.
mm-hmm.
When I got that separation, like when he was not there, I was lonely, I was living alone, right? I got that time to reflect back and
Yeah.
find out what is it that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Is when I realized that this is called self love. Like if you are like you have an ability to spend time with yourself
Mm-hmm.
and not over phone, not that okay, I have some time, let me make a call, or let me do an
Right.
Instagram or something.
Right, right, right.
If you if you have a capacity to spend time on your with you is when you love yourself,
Mm-hmm. Very good point. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like how much do you love yourself same as you love your lover?
Yeah.
If you go for a shopping, you like to buy gifts for your lover. But for yourself, you may think that, oh, it's too costly. Maybe not now. Maybe buy for my loved ones. I'll buy it. Buy for me later. A lot of things, right? How much do you prefer yourself first than everyone? And it's not wrong.
It's not. What's one lesson that you wish you had known earlier in life before you had gotten married?
Choice. I didn't know I had choice.
Yeah.
It was a love marriage. Yes, I did choose, but I think I fell in love because of what was taught to me.
Mm-hmm. Not what you
I
specifically wanted, but what was kind of
yes,
wired. Yeah.
yes, because at that time I used to just dream like how usual girls would dream that I'm not sure about America, but in India, our dream is, you study and then you get married, have kids, and have a happy life,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's a choice which was implanted in us, and I never knew that I can choose a different life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Because you're only taught it's like the circle of life, like where you are here to procreate, and this is what everyone is doing, like getting married and then
Right.
having kids and then buying a house and so on and so forth. So whether it's in India or America, yeah, very, very similar
It's
mindset.
same.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah. Especially
Okay.
being Indian, like that's what our parents teach us. And you don't think there's any other option because this is how it's supposed to be. And if it's not this way, and you choose another route, then you're looked down upon. So that's why a lot of people
Right.
don't choose any other ways in life.
Yeah, exactly.
How has your definition of love evolved over the years? Because I know going through something so tough in your life, now your definition is probably very different, especially when it comes to seeking for another partner.
Yeah, right. Yes. So, yes, my definition actually changes. It's because I still know that I'm work in progress. So it changes like over
Yeah.
the period of time. But currently, my definition is number one, that you are the first priority. Okay? It is not selfish. It is not wrong.
Yeah.
It's okay that if you are want to buy something for yourself, so first buy it for yourself and then buy it for someone else.
Yeah.
So first is you are the priority, and
Yeah.
second is coming to a love relationship with someone. Again, both, I don't want anyone to complete me.
Right.
Okay, I am complete myself, and the person who's there should be complete in himself. I
Mm-hmm.
have a life journey, he has a life journey.
Right.
Like, I am there to pull him out when required, and he should be there to pull me out when required.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but at the end, we all have different journey. We cannot complete each other.
That's a very good point. And then what about the dating scene in India? Like, what are you meeting people online, or are you meeting people through word of mouth?
I think so. In India, also there are dating apps and all of that. But for me, it doesn't work because see, what I've seen is in dating app or any other like people, men I met, is they have baggage, and most of the people, like I would say 99% of the people, are trying to find a rebound.
Wow.
Okay,
Mhm.
yes, it looks like they're out of it, like everything is gone. Maybe it's long time back, but they
Mhm.
haven't worked on it.
That's a really good point. People just because of technology and then finding someone very quickly, it's an easy way out versus working on yourself. And as you mentioned, taking the time to be alone and be without your phone. But people are so
Right.
consumed by it that it's like, oh, swiping
Yes.
left and right.
Yes. Yes. Nobody can live by themselves.
Hmm.
Okay. And like I know I've met few men, they try to convince that they are a good person.
Hmm.
But you don't need to convince. If you're a good person, it will show you. And everyone is a good person. It's not about a good or bad. It's about whether the like you match the vibration match or not,
Right, right.
right? And that's what I've seen. Like, yeah, not just men, women, like they have a baggage which they really, really need to deal with.
Yeah.
Because even if right now you feel that things have changed, it hasn't changed. You repeat the same pattern in your next relationship.
Absolutely. Same patterns. I agree 100%. So it's like you have to really figure out what you need to work on, because also being single, you don't see a lot of your issues at times. You see your
Yes.
issues when you're in a relationship. That's when you realize, oh, I these are the things that I need to work on. As you mentioned,
Yes.
anger, you admit that, anger was a big thing, and anger is a big thing for everyone, especially during conflict. It happens.
Right.
You have to learn to address that in a nice way, because if you work on yourself, you will also attract a similar partner.
Yeah. Right. Right. And you see now the definitions have changed. Now something called situationship has come up,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which
Yeah,
is the same thing. Like
yeah,
you have a baggage, you just want to make sure, like you're not buying thing that let me try if the product is good,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
It's very
Like it
different.
is, yeah, it is easy to let the product go, but do you think you can handle the emotional turmoil when you have to let that product, the person go away? No,
Yeah. How
right?
about forgiveness? I know that what you went through is really harsh in your life, and overcoming that, as you mentioned, you'd spent about 5 years to really work on yourself and heal, and you're still a work in progress. Would you say that you have completely forgiven your ex?
I think so. I so okay, let me put it in this way. I'll share a story
Mhm.
about my divorce. So in 2018, just a week before my divorce, it was like one day I was just, partying with my office colleagues, and I was seeing a lot of, smart men. They're just talking and everything.
Right.
And I was, before going to sleep, I was thinking that, oh my God, all these men look so smart. Why can't my husband be so smart and come back? So on that thought, I went to sleep. And the next day when I wake up, and suddenly I felt a realization that, wow, I don't even feel anything for this guy.
Mm,
Okay, I neither love this guy, nor hate this guy, nor feel sad that why did he do this to me?
right.
Or a question of what did I do?
Yeah.
So and what I realized is that is called a divorce.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not just on paper. Like how many people they give divorce and yet they think about their, past life, and they still cry and
Yeah.
they start talking about it, right?
Right.
So I
Right.
was like, wow, I have literally divorced this guy in my mind.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
as you mentioned, like waking up in the morning and then realizing that you don't miss that person anymore, and you're not feeling like, oh, why did this happen to me? Or why did he do
Yeah.
this? That's when you know
Yeah.
you're completely done and content. Like
I'm done.
you are happy with your life and God bless you, and I'm moving on with mine.
Right, exactly. So I don't know if that is a forgiveness or not. Maybe I have done it.
Yeah.
Like if it is not, maybe if there is a, see, what I know is if something is not there, it will come as a trigger. I would know. But as of now, I know, I think I have forgiven him.
Yeah.
And I would say that during, like, after, it took just a week for me to get the divorce, and the day I was in the court, I was the happiest person in the court, where everybody was going through drama, trauma, blame game, and all I was like my smiling face and telling the judge, please give me the divorce.
Yeah, like you were like done over it.
I was
What
done.
are some red flags or warning signs in a relationship that you think people might overlook?
Sure. See, number one, you always have to accept that your partner is as good as your roommate. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot expect that, oh, you're supposed to do this for me. You're supposed to, because you are a partner. You don't expect this from your roommate.
Right.
Why with the partner? Partner is a roommate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's just that maybe, like, 90% of things match with him, but at the end, he's a roommate.
Right.
So if you start nitpicking on everything, is a red flag, not for him, for you,
Yeah,
and also for the relationship, that probably you are really not in love. Okay. Like, things will change.
of course.
That's a smallest red flag. And bigger red flag is letting things go, but not letting things go. And what I mean is, like, when he cheated on me, I did let things go, thinking that I will be able to, like, I'll be able to change my choices. I'll be able to convince, make my parents and everyone happy. They don't have to go through it.
Right.
If there are some these kind of issues, don't think of everyone. Think of yourself. Think of your self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you are important. So if you want to let it go, either you completely let it go and not think about it, or you just be with it.
What advice do you have for someone who is in a similar situation as you, especially when it comes to a toxic situation, and they are very afraid of being alone?
Right. So I do get questions from moms, like, I mean, there are many comments which my audiences, they say that you could do it because you didn't had a kid,
Mm,
or they also say that you had a job, and even if you had a break of a job, you got another job because you had a job, you had an experience to it,
right.
and I cannot do it because of these reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I always say that there cannot be any reason for you to not choose your life.
Right.
It can be hard. I'm not denying. I'm not in that situation. I'm not a mother of someone.
Right.
But do you want to give away your rest of the life thinking that you have a kid? You cannot do it because you have a kid, and I did it because I don't have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
What are you teaching your kid? Like, I know many couples, they don't separate because they don't know, if they get separated, the kid will not be with the parent. Do you think the kid is not smart enough to understand you guys are going through a toxic relationship?
Absolutely. Yeah, kids know.
Right? And when you are teaching them something else, but you are sacrificing and adjusting your life. Kid rarely learns what you choose. If
Mm-hmm.
you choose sacrifice, they are also choosing a sacrifice. If in their life, if they get such kind of situation, they will also sacrifice.
Of course.
Are you ready to see your kid not empowered and adjusting like you?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
If no, then get out of it.
yeah. What
The
role?
question
Sorry, go ahead.
the question is, what are the reason for you to not choose, then choose? When
Yeah.
you when you don't want to choose, you have all the reasons that this is the reason I will not choose.
Right.
But for the choice you want to make, you just have to have one reason, and that's it.
What made you want to speak up about all of this? Because I know that, especially the community that you come from, sometimes a woman can be very scared to speak up about these issues. What made you,
Right.
I mean, what empowered you to start speaking up?
I think it came eventually when I was on a journey for changing myself.
Mhm.
I could see my friends, my family going through the same thing. Like before, I used to not know, but now that I know about mental health, I know about these things. I've seen people going through, and that's the time I kind of made up my mind that it might look embarrassing. I might feel like a different implications to it when I speak about it, because I know I get a lot of judgment about why I speak about it also, right? But for me, I know when I speak about it, there will be at least like 5% people who will get a guidance, who will try to find their way.
Absolutely.
And I want to, address to those people to like who can at least choose something else through my life journey.
Yeah, yeah. And then how does friendship play a role in your life, as far as would you say your friends were very supportive when it came to you wanting the divorce?
Um, I So I can say that I don't have a really big friend circle. I have like few friends.
Mhm.
It's always been there, like from a childhood. It is always like 4 5 friends in the school, and then I go to college, and
Yeah.
those school friends are just there. But again, I have no friends. So I didn't had a lot of friends when I was going through, but out of those, there are few friends who were supporting, but there are few friends they actually were ignoring me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think I get why they were ignoring me because I was so negative. Uh, all I could do is talk about my difficult situation. Like even if they want to help me,
Yeah.
they are not able to help because they also have a baggage.
Yeah.
And that's where I always say that many people they don't want to go for a counseling session. They
Yeah.
feel that they have friends, they have families to share.
Mhm.
So, what is the difference between a counselor and a friend? The issue with friend is maybe they are also going through those baggages, they haven't worked on it. So,
Yeah.
for them to help you and work on their baggages are very different.
Very different.
Plus,
And you don't know what advice they might give you
right,
because of their maybe they're in a toxic situation themselves, so they're just speaking
yeah,
resentment and anger when it comes to their own situation.
ex- yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But for a counselor, they are not. They are completely trained, and they will always give you a neutral advice, and always will empower you. Not because you want to fix the relationship, they will say no, you should go for a relationship. If the relationship doesn't work, they will try to empower you, show you the other possibilities as well.
Mhm.
So that's the difference between friends and counselor.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then you mentioned Reiki really helped you. Were there any other rituals that you were doing on a daily basis for someone who's going through heartbreak right now? They would love
Right.
to hear your advice. Yeah.
So yes, Reiki is one of the things that you can do it every day, but you have to learn it. And there's one more thing called access bars. Access bars are 32 points on our head, which is related to different emotions of our life.
Mhm.
It releases the blockages from our body, and you slowly tend to see that your life patterns and everything started changing. So I usually do more of access bars now
Okay.
than Reiki. But again, I don't have a preference. Like it depends how easy, convenient, because right now time constraints are also there. And but these are the two things that you need to learn and
Right,
practice.
right.
Apart from that, you can always work on affirmations. You can always write things that you are grateful for. Magic, there's a book called Magic from it's a series from The Secret, right? That has 28 days of gratitude practice. You can do that too,
Mhm.
right? But at the end, I would say at least try for a few months going for a counselor, because they will help you address the specific issue that you are looking for.
Mhm.
So yeah, these are the things that I usually do it.
That's really good advice. Last but not the least, I would love, you've given so much wisdom, but do you have one big advice that you would have given to your younger self?
Please know you always have a choice. You always have a choice of anything. You can deny, you can accept, you can let go, you can choose another possibility. Today, if you have a path A, tomorrow, don't think that, oh my God, I chose path A, now I cannot choose path B.
Yeah.
Choose path B. You always have a choice. Like, remind yourself, talk to yourself, and say, I have a choice to change my life.
Yeah, I love that. That's really good advice. And thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing your journey, and spreading awareness is key. As you mentioned, if you want, it takes, let's say, 3 or 4 people listen to our podcast and it resonates with someone and they make a change in their life. And if they're in a toxic situation, they get out of it. That's a blessing. So
Exactly.
definitely appreciate you for sharing. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.